What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Pablo's Cocktail Corner. So today we're going to be looking at the Mojito. We're going to be doing it in a couple of different styles, including one non-alcoholic version and another like bourbon-based version. But it's perfect for patio season, and it causes what is kind of known as like the Mojito effect in the bartending community. When you see one Mojito go out, hundreds and hundreds of Mojito follow thereafter. It's an awesome drink, light, bright, refreshing with a little bit of the herbaceousness from the mint. It's so awesome, so easy to make, but it really shows the balancing act that is making a cocktail. So I hope you're excited to learn a little bit about the history of the Mojito, but most importantly, how to make a couple awesome ones. So, enough talking, let's get to drinking, shall we?
Ryan Little.
Alrighty, so a brief introduction into the Mojito. So the Mojito is the national drink of Cuba. It's really light, bright, refreshing, and a lot of the rums that originally made the Mojito came from Cuba. So in like the 1500s-ish, there was this fucking pirate dude, and he went to Cuba, and they ended up making what was called El Drake, or the Drake, because the dude's name was Francis Drake, and he was a pirateer, and he ended up kind of by mistake drinking the first Mojito and making the first Mojito with some sugar cane, some lime, some mint, and the national drink of Cuba was invented. It's super light, bright, refreshing. Back in the old days, they used to have really sharp, harsh spirits. So now we have nice, really, really good quality spirits. So we can really change up the recipe and hopefully make it a little bit different. So in this case, I'm going to show you 3 different variations on just changing the booze. So I'm going to give you a recipe. It's a very easy recipe, and you can switch out for almost any rums, and you could even kind of switch it out for any other liquors if you don't really have much at home. And it'll obviously change a lot of the flavor of the drink because due to the proportions of the drink, the booze is most of the drink. So right here, we have a Havana Club Puerto Rican rum that's going to be an añejo. So it was aged in wooden barrels. That adds some nice brown sugar notes. It adds a little bit of smooth, rich depth, and that's what I'm sipping on right now. It's not very harsh. It is herbaceous and it is citrusy, but that's mostly coming from the mint and the lime juice. If we went ahead and switched it out for something like this, which this is a Charanda Uruapan. This is pretty much a rum that they make in Michoacán. So it's a Mexican kind of aguardiente. If you know what an aguardiente is, it was pretty much started in South America. But very, very nice, very funky. And speaking of funky, it smells almost like, in a good way, funky. It smells herbaceous, it smells citrusy, so it's almost like mixing like lime rind with like some old funky bananas. It is reminiscent of baby food is what I get from it. It's very funky, it's so yummy, and it really stands out in cocktails, which is what I look for. I don't really want the liquor to be hidden, I want it to be a balanced act. And on that same note, we have an Appleton Estate. This is a Jamaican rum. Jamaican rums are usually known for being a little bit funky, kind of like this one is. This one smells, I don't know, closer to like banana bread. It's aged in Jamaica, and the terroir is noticeable, just like this one. The Puerto Rican ones are usually a little bit more toned down. It's not as flavorful, it's not as in your face, but it is still present. This is going to be more funky, this is going to be more funky, and if you want a normal Mojito, which you can obviously make for yourself at home, you would go ahead and use Bacardi. Bacardi is the staple for Mojitos. I personally don't have Bacardi because I'm not a huge fan, so I like stuff that's a little bit more funky, a little bit more in your face, and here we are. Okay, so enough talking, let's go ahead and make this cocktail, shall we? Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and make the cocktail. This is a super, super simple, easy recipe. Alright, but we do need a jigger, so I have to come back. And I'm back. So, it's a very easy to drink, very easy to make recipe. It's going to be 1 ounce of simple syrup, which is just 1 part sugar to 1 part water. Next, we're going to do 1.5 ounces of some freshly squeezed lime juice. Honestly, just get fresh squeezed lime juice. Don't get none of that shit that comes in the plastic lime, like just citric acid, pretty much. Disgusting. Disgusting. All right. Then we're gonna go ahead and add 2 ounces of your booze. In this case, we're using the Charanda Uruapan. So yummy. I never had anything like this before I drank this one specifically. So it's unlike any other spirit. It really opens a world of flavor combinations. So please try that. We're gonna do 12 mint leaves. Make sure it's nice and minty. And this is another place where people have a lot of debates. Just like everything in the cocktail world, let's call it, there's 100 ways. What is it? There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's 100 ways to make a mojito. This is just my way of making a mojito. I like all my drinks to be refreshing. I like them to be light and bright. I don't muddle the mint. I believe that shaking it is more than enough, maybe even too much if you start tearing into the chlorophyll. Another thing I just wanted to bring up is that if you do have a muddler with the teeth on it, don't really muddle the hell out of your mojito or your mint. That's going to cause a lot of bitter flavors to come, and you don't really want that. So we're going to go ahead and this is how I make it. Double strain it to get rid of any little debris that might have gotten left behind. So offhand, you could already see how much lighter this is in color than the añejo one that we had, which was the first one I drank. Alright. And this is how I would serve it at the bar. You would go ahead and have that ready. Then you would go grab your soda water, which I fucking left. Then you're gonna go ahead and top it off with some soda water. Give it a little stir. So right now I'm using Perrier. You could obviously use just regular seltzer water, or Mojitos would be really good with this too, but that's just what I had on hand. Then you're gonna grab a nice mint sprig.
Oh yes, Daddy!
Give it a little clap to help express those oils, and you're gonna put it right next to the straw. So when every time they go to take a sip, you're gonna get some nice nose of mint. And there you go. Pablo's Mojito. Let's give it a taste. This is with the Charanda Uruapan. That's so fucking good. Holy cow. You know, honestly, like, using this changes the game. Like, does it taste like the mojito you would get at Applebee's? No, it doesn't. For real, it doesn't. But is it amazing? Is it smooth? Is it a little bit more flavorful? Is it more of an experience? Definitely. So please taste it out with this. It's going to be a little different, but it's really, really worth it. This is awesome booze. Really, really awesome, awesome stuff. Light, bright. You get the little bit of booze. You get the little banana and lime and just funk that's delicious, and it's citrusy and it's bright and it's effervescent. It is honestly awesome, like for real, awesome, awesome. And if you use the Appleton Estate, which we're going to make in a second, it'll give it a little bit more of like a brown sugar, stay with the funk, make it smoother, less herbaceous. This is very citrusy and bright, and then the Appleton will kind of make it a little bit smoother and rounder. Just an awesome drink. My favorite way to make it is with the Charanda, but let's go ahead and do the same recipe, but use the Appleton Estate, and we'll make that right now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use the 12 mint leaves, 1 ounce of simple syrup. So, we've got the fresh lime juice, the simple syrup. Now we have 2 ounces of our Appleton Estates. Pour everything in, and if you see now, it is a deeper, darker color, which does come from the aging. The color seeps from the charred inside of the barrels onto the juice. Give it a good up and down. Make sure everything tastes pretty much the same. I know some people like to use granulated sugar in their mojitos because of the change in flavor. I think if you get the perfect flavor for the whole time, it's better than starting a little sour and ending a little too sweet and having a middle ground of perfect flavor. I think having perfection for the whole time, why not? Alright, so let's go ahead and give it a taste. Yeah, wow. That's really good. It's a little bit rounder. It's not as citrusy, it's not as herbaceous. It is still, it has citrus and herbaceousness from the mint and the lime, obviously. But the spirit itself, being a huge part of the drink, is going to go ahead and be toned down because of the brown sugar, kind of like vanilla, coconut notes. It adds a lot of round flavors, but then it still maintains that funkiness at the end. Not as much as the charanda though. If you can't seem to find the charanda uruapan, I'm going to go ahead and add a link in the description for you guys to be able to buy some. Also, if you're looking for any bar tools and stuff, I'll add a little Amazon link where you can buy everything online. Alrighty, and that is the regular mojito. You can pretty much make it with any booze you have on hand. Will it taste exactly the same? No, but it's all good. You know, as long as you enjoy it, I enjoy it, we're all happy. So now we're gonna go ahead and get to some variations. The next one's gonna be what I'm gonna call like a Southern Belle Mojito, but you'll see right now. And enough talking, let's get to drinking, shall we? Alrighty, so for the next alcoholic mojito version, we have what I'm calling like the Southern Belle Mojito. So, we're going to go ahead and start off with some rye. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of rye. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some peach liqueur. This is a Combier Péché de Vigne. It has really nice kind of tropical stone fruit almost vibes. 10 basil leaves. And then, because the liqueur from the peach is a little bit sweet, we're going to go ahead and only do a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Next, we're going to add the 1.5 ounces of lime juice. Give it a good shake. Smells nice, light, bright, fruity, a little spicy from the rye. And if you don't remember what makes rye different from bourbon, we do have that intro to whiskey video, and I'll add it right here. And go ahead and watch it, and make sure to reintroduce yourself to the awesome spirits that are the whiskeys. Alright? And we're going to go ahead and top this off. Simple basil leaf, a little smackaroo, help express it, and again, just delicately place it next to the straw. That's really good. Okay, so is it really a mojito? Maybe not. Is it delicious? Does it have booze with simple syrup, lime, and an herb? Yeah. So I like to play around with the differences in the structural integrity of a drink and just changing things out. So instead of maybe mint, we're going to do basil here. Instead of rum, we're going to do whiskey. Instead of sugar, we're going to do a peach liqueur, which adds sweetness and adds some of that booze. Fucking delicious, honestly. Like, very, very good. Keep dropping the basil. Light, bright, fruity, like juicy almost. So good. Try this one out. If you have, it's a little bit hard to find peach liqueur. Apricot liqueur does well. So next we're going to go ahead and do a non-alcoholic version. So enough talking about it. Let's go ahead and drink, alright? Alrighty, y'all. So last but definitely not least, we have kind of like a virgin mojito. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and start off with 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, 12 mint leaves. Do 1 ounce lime juice because we're using kombucha, and the kombucha is a little bit acidic as is. And give it a good shake. Alright. This time, for a little bit of difference and a little bit of color, we're going to go ahead and dump it in. just gonna go ahead and top it off with some kombucha. Give it a little mix. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a mint leaf. That is really good. Alright, what I like about kombucha is it has a little bit of like a sour, acidic, almost like a gone bad taste that really lends itself to non-alcoholic cocktails. What I think really happens with non-alcoholic cocktails is people just do sugar, and people just do lime, and people just do sweet and sour almost, but there's a lot of complexities when it comes to cocktails. One of the things being the bitterness that sometimes alcohol brings, the burn. With burn, we can do ginger, we can do spicy, a lot of ways to introduce kind of like a burn. And this is honestly great. If you want, you can add like a Fresno chili or a jalapeno and add a little bit more spice, but the ginger really does play well here. It's a delicious, refreshing, non-alcoholic way to enjoy mojitos with all your friends. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this. Honestly, it was really fun. Really fun making this video with you all. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. But as always, thank you for joining me in this corner of the world. I hope to see you back soon. Alrighty, have a great day. Take care, alright? Have fun, be safe. Cheers. Bye. Pretty damn good having the booze.